Hi, I'm Camelia. I'm Senior Product Designer from Secure and Protect. And today I'm just going to talk about design where updating mainly focus on how to help user to consume larger amount of data and also very easy to make some actions. I'm sorry for that no presentation because I'm going to parental leave very soon and a lot of work piled up. So if there anything unclear, like what I'm talking about, just put it in the question. I will answer it later, and I can always explain you offline. And first, I just want to explain what's the current problem. So this is an example of alert page. And this is the dummy data, but those are usually kind of security alert came into the system that the user receive. And what the user's general behavior we know from research is that they need to make some quick actions, for example, from this, they want to know what is this about, and they need to make a decision based on some information that they can consume very quickly to decide to go with it or dismiss it or dig deeper. And the biggest problem is those informations, there are quite a lot. And this is dummy data, and real data can be even more. And what we actually want to do is we want the user to really easy to consume all those informations and make quick decisions. But we don't want to let user click on different ones and go to next page and come back. So that's a lot of actually clicks for them to see what's happening and prevent them from doing something very quick. So that's the challenge, to do something quick with quick decision, but with large amount of data. And we have actually two options we have in head. So the first one, this updating. Yeah. So the first one we want to use a split view is more like an email, so user can quickly just go through them and we show them a summary, and if they want to see detail, they can see it, and we just display them also in a nicer way. And another option is we want to make the drawer bigger, and the same thing, display them in a nicer way. So there are some advantage and disadvantage we sort of, for example, for the expanded drawer, since we already have the component of the small drawer, it's very easy for us to continue the work comparably, and we can both on the design side, on the development side is easier, but then we'll have a problem with maybe double scroll bar or something. So that's something we really don't want. And also we hide part of the table. If you can see that, some information on this side might be useful for the user, they don't see it anymore. And for the split layout, I think it's the advantage is it's very easy to scan, and doesn't need user to go click close and go back and forth and stuff. But the difficult part is this is new layout, we need to think a lot and maybe create a new component, and also for development is more effort compared to the previous one. So it's kind of we're not really sure which one is the best. So we decide to do the research first and to see how user prefers. And we just show user three different ones. The first one is the current one. Even we know that this one is too small, we still want to confirm with the user this is too small. And we confirm it is really very small for user to consume a lot of data. And we also show user option that with a bigger drawer, and also show them this split layout and let them play around. We make this a little bit more clickable and with the real data, and they can just in the research, they can really dive into the situation and to try to decide whether this is real for them, to to make it a more real scenario, to let them imagine that do they want to solve this problem or not let them just see the differences, play the layout, so we can get more information. And actually, I think I have when I build the layout, since this was like having some schooling and stuff, like it took me some time, but I think I have some small tip there might be useful for you. So what I realized that at the beginning, the schooling doesn't really work. And with the expand and the collapse, the main problem is I have a lot of groups. So on the left-hand side, I usually use a lot of groups, and when I copy paste the data and to different content, it's just duplicated a lot and it creates problems. And then I realized if I create a lot of local components and just change the data, but let the interaction happen outside of the frame, it actually works way better. And also the auto layout is better than grouping. So that's some video tips I see from the internet that people says yeah, use fewer group, but try auto layout and reuse local components, even with the small thing, I put the interaction outside of the frame, actually, it works better. So next time, if you have similar problem, maybe that's something good to do. And go back to the research. So the research was very informatic, and I think we did 6 users and we got a lot of results, and this is how I label it. I know some kind of effort are putting in to create some global kind of tag. I also want to share this, maybe this can help us to have some global tags, which is useful. So for me, what is important is always even the target of the research is to validate the design, we still get to the general flow because we create the real scenario. So the general flow behaviors, I always tag them no matter what, because it's inform us in the future. And for this research, because we have a lot of information, we want to know which are the important ones for them to finish their task. So I highlighted specifically what are the important information for them. And there are a lot of new ideas actually came from the user, which is not our research questions. I think that's also something could be valuable. Always keep in mind, save it somewhere. And the others are, for example, the others are some small things that I think need to be improved. And the main questions, for this research, which design user prefer, it helps us to solve the main question. If I go to the research summary, so from the research, we know that basically almost all users think the small drawer is too small. This one user says it's okay-ish, but the other ones really says it's too small. So we confirmed our assumption, even we have quite a strong feeling that this is a problem, confirm with user is always good. And for the 2 layouts, like this one and the bigger drawer. So the interesting part is I kind of see it like a draw, 4 out of 6, 2 out of 6 is not a strong preference, but what helped me make the decision is the reason user gave. So when user prefer the bigger drawer ones, the reason they gave is it's familiar to what they're using now. One is a comparison to the Microsoft software they're using. Another one is comparing the drawer with comparing the table. Actually, he liked the table more because he used Excel sheet a lot. So I think compared to another group which prefer the split layout, the more email-like layout, the people says it's easy to see, it's very easy to navigate, all those stuff. So those reasons could change a lot if user don't use Microsoft anymore. If user don't use Excel sheet anymore, they might not prefer this one. So this seems like a stronger preference from the user. And another big question we have from the research we want to answer is about the information. What are the important informations, and is the information hierarchy there is good? So all of them says good. So they literally tell me that it's really good to use, but I still observe something. So like for example, if you take, I think this, you can still work. Yeah, so if you take this as an example, so we didn't, like for the all details, we didn't group them, but I see a lot of, I'm not sure it's a 6 out of 6, but it's quite a lot of amount of user when they search it, it has, you have like, for example, destination, like source TCP and destination TCP. So they try to find the information with source and destination, IP destination, IP source. They always like try to find these two type of information. So these two grouping might help user to consume the data. Even they tell us it's good, they didn't mention about this improvement, but from behavior you can see. So I think like from the research, we should always like listening and also see at the same time to see how they behave. Some other things are interesting. We also confirm that like what type of action they're doing. And at the beginning, we're not sure like those are very useful actions, create incidents, download and stuff. So it's all confirmed. And also I feel like one user, I think, missed some of the actions because they're in different locations and stuff. And then in the later update, I put all those actions together. So it's easier for user to find. And also all those like additional information, like what I labeled in Dovetail, I think is in the future to inform us better, no matter to what type of product which helps user, we can always refer back. So our research is not a one-time thing. So it's inform our future like a related design. And also there are a lot of new ideas came from user, which is not related with like what we try to find out here. Like for example, a lot of them want to have like a notification system, like they want to be integrated, like better with their product, like more statistic. So those are very valuable as well. So I think like extra information is also something that we should document in the research. And then what do we do with the update? I think which is better way to show. So with update, like after the research, so we basically update the UI a little bit. Like I said, all the actions are grouped together and all the information, we take them as a source, destination, and general network to help user to consume it better. We clean the UI. So before, like during the test, we still have like the boxing style, now it's less boxing. So there's still kind of space to improve, I think, in the future. So this is current status for now. And what we are going to do, and we are waiting for the prioritization for the development at the meantime. Like we want to probably create new, either as a component or layout. We haven't decided yet. So I think I also link the future pajama issue here. So I'm going on a leave, parental leave for like 3 months, 4 months, something like that longer. And if anyone who have time or interested into this, I think it's something very nice just to pick it up. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions? Questions? Yeah.
I had a couple that I put in the agenda, and what was interesting was for both of them, you ended up addressing them in the updates that you made. So I'm going to leave them in the agenda just because I had already put them there, but I also updated to say, yay, you did this. Yeah, the first thing that I immediately noticed was the unboxing issue. Everything was so bounded and it was causing, like, it looked like it was going to cause so much scrolling, and then plus it was just some visual clutter. So I'm glad that you caught that and made some updates. And then the other thing was the detail view needed that better information hierarchy for scannability. So I was very pleased to see that by the time you got to the end, you had found both of those things already and you're working on them. So thank you.
Thank you. That's user's credit of being informed about the user research.
I had a quick question. I know that during our explorations, there was some discussion around allowing users to toggle between the two different views, split view and table view. And I was just wondering where that conversation ended up.
We create a new issue for it as a follow-up, like could be potential, like a next actionable insight. But since we have other priority, we didn't really like talk it yet. But I think it's also good to bring it when we were like talking about the pajama related like split view structure. Could be something we already introduced as a component first, even we haven't developed yet.
There is a nice read-only tip in the first bullet too that I think is worth pointing out to everyone, just as a reminder. We don't always need presentations.
Yeah, thank you for that. It just like sometimes as a designer, it feels like I'm sharing something and it needs to look nice.
Yeah, when you apologized for that, I was like, no, don't apologize. This was great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with how you shared this, not at all.
Well, thank you.
I have a quick question. Are there any plans on taking these learnings and trying to apply it to an abstracted component for pajamas? Maybe this could fall more under region or something like that.
Oh, you mean the split view or some other?
Yes, the split view.
Yeah. So this is the pajama issue I created. There are already some discussion. I didn't have time to dig into it in the recent 2 milestones. But if
there you go.
want to, like here, this one.
Okay, yeah. There were so many links that I missed.
No worries.
Anyone else have any questions? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Thank you, Camelia. I don't know how Zoom moves all the buttons around when there's chat opened. Where's stop recording?